Welcome to those of you who are joining. My name is Amanda Bentow, and holy cats, let's get this situated today. Sorry, taking you for a little roll. My name is Amanda Bentow, and this is what not to do on Periscope. Come on, figure your stuff out, lady. You're gonna give tips on great periscoping? Really? Thanks for the hearts. Jules, is that you? Oh, man. I'm all discombobulated. I promise this doesn't usually happen. All right, Amanda Wiggins, hello. And I missed somebody else who just joined. Oh, wow. I can't believe that on my scope about how to make great scopes, I'm gonna be this big of a mess. Sup? Your hair looks great. Thank you so much. Oh, for real. All right, I'm leaving it. I'm off kilter, all whacked. I'm leaving it. Okay. Well, welcome to the party. Today we're talking about how to, hello from Dallas, Latoria, wedding and event planner. Yes, thank you. Thanks for telling me what you do too. I love it. Lighting is great. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today too, is lights. We are talking about doing your first craft digital. You're back. Welcome. Thanks. Glad. Okay. Amanda. Props to Amanda Wiggins. She did her first scope yesterday. Actually, her first, quite a few scopes. And it was very entertaining. It was good stuff. So you should follow Amanda Wiggins. You can tap on the little Periscope guy in the corner and you can see who all is on, and you can follow her or anyone else who you see in here. Or here's another little fun fact about Periscope. When someone comments like that, 821, click on that comment and you can view their profile and see if you want to, if that looks like someone who you want to follow. Latoria, thank you. I can't remember. So today we're talking about how to not be scared when you jump on Periscope for your first time. And yesterday I was talking about personal branding, and we talked a little bit about Periscope, and I was asking how many people have done their first scopes, and then encourage people to bring their questions and concerns back, because today we're going to talk about how to not be scared, and I'm going to give you some tips and walk you through the whole process step by step in case you've never done in case you've never done a scope. So many people need this. Well, I don't know. We'll find out. You haven't heard what I have to say yet, so maybe it sucks. We don't know. Thank you for inviting your friends and followers. We are going to get right to this because I have some family coming this afternoon, and I'm really hoping that they don't show up while I'm in the middle of the scope, because my dog's going to go nuts and my kids are going to wake up from naps. It's going to be a disaster. So I'm going to get to it. Practice ones do count. Practice makes perfect, and your very first ones are all about practicing. So I was telling Amanda yesterday that my very first scope, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just wanted to test it out and see how to do it. You were one of those people yesterday that were a little scared to scope. That's right, but you're gonna get over it, and we're gonna get started, and you're gonna start scoping. So my first one, I wanted to like just figure it out and see how it all went, and so I hit broadcast, and I had it pointed at the ceiling because I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And then I just played around with it, trying to figure out how to flip the camera and stuff like that. I had no idea that it was like actually broadcasting, and I had no idea that I also probably, I didn't know. I X'd out of there pretty quickly, but I didn't know that it stays up for 24 hours or even what that was all about. So I'm pretty sure that I had a scope of my ceiling for 24 hours that you could have viewed. Fortunately, I was not connected to Catch yet, and so that one is gone. Bryn from Green Bay, hello. Okay, so your very first scope, how to not be scared. I wish there was a better answer than this. And some people will suggest alcohol. I don't know. If that's your thing, go for it. D Park, you are always on in the mornings, aren't you? Or maybe the replays. So thank you very much. I do a morning devotional time too for those who are interested. So that's always on scope or ceiling scope. We should hashtag ceiling scopes. Do that for your first one. Okay, so how to not be scared. Some people recommend alcohol. That's your choice if you want to or not. That's, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't drink, but that's not really my thing for scopes. I think I'd be an even bigger mess. Okay, but number one is to choose a topic that is something that you can talk about for days on end. Not that I want you to talk for days on end on your scope, but I do want you to choose a topic that is really comfortable for you and that is easy to talk about for you. Because when we try to come up with a topic that isn't really us or it's not natural for us, then we seem really scripted and we seem really fake. And I've definitely been down that road plenty of times. and it's just not as fun. It's not as comfortable. So choose a topic that is something you can talk really easily about. And maybe your first one is just an introduction to yourself, because everyone can talk about themselves. Everyone can do that. Even if you're a little nervous to jump on Periscope, you can get on and just do a 1-minute scope, just introducing yourself and talking about what you do and what you're all about and stuff like that. Okay. Don't worry about the numbers. Point number 2. Don't worry about the numbers on Periscope. You will one of two things will happen. One is that you hit broadcast and suddenly people start flooding in. Flooding, I mean like 5. Okay? And that could happen, and that's a little weird because it's like, oh my gosh, nobody even follows me yet. Who's listening to me? I don't know who's listening to you to do an intro scope. Yes, well, remind me, Amanda, this can be your 2 cents, to turn your phone vertically if I forget that tip on here later, okay? No horizontal scopes, although it is really good entertainment. Okay. Okay. So don't worry about the numbers. So either lots of people or like a handful of people are going to come in, or there will be no one. Or maybe it's your one best friend who follows you. That's fine. Just talk. Just talk. Because there will be people who can watch the replay. And it does get viewed. Your replays do get views. And especially if you've connected your account to Twitter, then it's also going to be shared on Twitter. It'll just automatically be posted on Twitter when... I'm thinking about your Twitter account right now. Sorry. I'm going to try to keep it together. So it will automatically be shared on Twitter when you broadcast. And then when you're done, your replay also goes to Twitter. So if you've just joined, Amanda did her first scope yesterday, which I was really proud of her for doing because she just went out and did it. It was just like, okay, I'm going to do this. I know I want to get into scoping. I'm just going to go do it. And that's exactly what it's all about. And now here I am on my scope laughing at her because she had multiple tries. But I think we're good enough. Good enough. Okay. Sorry. Trying to pull it together. I got this. Okay. And eventually this gets to be a whole lot of fun. Okay. But start talking as if you're talking to your best friend. And just... don't worry about using a radio voice. Amanda, you need to stop commenting because I'm going to crack up every time. Don't worry about using a radio voice or your TV voice. You know, like you watch people on the news and they're all like, hello and welcome to blah, 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 blah. That's not what you need to do on Periscope. On Periscope, people don't want to see your professional, polished, perfect self. They want to see the real you. And if you start crying because you're laughing so hard, then that's okay. People want to see that. And I know that's true because you wouldn't still be watching if that weren't true. There would be approximately 0 people on this scope, except for maybe Amanda at this point. So talk like you're having a conversation with your best friend and just get on and talk to people. Don't think about the numbers. Don't think about who's watching you. It's possible that you'll get some trolls because there are some wackos on Periscope, and they're really just out there to put random stuff in and throw people off. And I don't know if they find it to be like cheap entertainment or what. Some of them are just rude, and some of them are like, I don't know what's going on with them, but If you get those, you can ignore them, or you can tap on their comment and then it gives you an option to block that person. So I would get your block finger ready. So just tap on the screen and then you'll have an option to block them. And that happens from time to time. And also users can block people too. So if I'm busy chatting away and you see that someone keeps saying, show me your boobs, then you just go ahead and block them for me. And then that kicks them out of our party because we don't need them here, right? Okay, so here's step by step if you are ready for your first scope. And I'm gonna give you the basics. How many people have I had to block? Like 3. I mean, it's really not that many. I'm going to go step by step through the process of starting your first scope, but I'm also going to give you some tips that if you are already scoping, or if these are things that you can advance into, but I have blocked some on other people's scopes. My audience isn't that big yet though. So maybe that's why I don't have to worry about them so much yet. Okay, so I'll give you some tips if you're just brand new to it, and then I'll also give you like some more advanced options if you're ready to, if you're really getting serious about scoping. Guys from Turkey, interesting, are often the creepers. Okay, so here's the first thing before you start your scope. Pull open the camera app on your phone and point it at yourself and see what you look like. Because when you start a scope, you don't want to see people like doing this all the time, right? Like it's the first time they've seen themselves, and then they're like staring at themselves the whole time, and you don't need that. You need to be speaking right to the camera. You're not looking at yourself. This is me looking at myself. This is me looking into the camera lens. See the difference? And isn't it so much more fun when I look in the camera lens and we make eye contact? So you want to make sure that you're not staring at yourself the whole time, and obviously you'll look down to see comments and see those beautiful hearts, but for the most part when you're talking you want to be looking into the camera lens. But what you're doing when you open up your camera app and point at yourself is just checking to make sure that you look the way you want to look, number one, but more importantly that the light is doing okay. Because you want to have, if you're in a dark spot, people can't see you, so you want really good light, and natural lighting is beautiful. So if you can do it in front of a window, but if there's a window behind you, then you're gonna look like one of those, witnesses on the news who want to be blurred out, and then you could talk in a fake voice, and that would work really well too. But if you want people to be able to see you and hear you well, then don't, then make sure the light is coming in front of you. Now, a more advanced tip, because I always recommend that people create systems. No matter what you're doing, the first time you do something, figure out how you can make a system out of it. Because if you think you're going to do it again, then let's create a system where it's easy to plop into it the very next time. So get your stuff set up. Figure out if you're using natural light, figure out which window you can sit in front of. Think about the background behind you. Like that little paint spot up in the corner makes me crazy. You have no idea how crazy that makes me, and the fact that we're showing some ceiling right now, but I was a hot mess when I was getting this all set up when we were first joining, so thanks to those of you who are still on after sitting through that. So that was a fluke thing, but have the light coming in, and know kind of where your spot is and which time of day works for you to have that natural light. Indoor lighting is more harsh, and so it's just not going to give you the best view, but if you're just starting out, who cares? Who cares? Yeah, ceiling scope. We can hashtag ceiling scope again. I just want people to see my ceilings. It's no big deal. Okay, the other thing, if you're ready to invest and you want to amp up your game and set up a light, I'm going to flip this around so you can see the light that I'm using. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? It's called a ring light. And let's get it back around. And it's also known as Botox in a bulb because it just makes, and somebody even commented at the beginning of the scope, it just is beautiful light. It's really nice. So it's called the Diva ring light. You can Google it, or actually if you go to, I believe it's coachglitter.com/ring light, I believe. Something like that. Or follow Coach Glitter, or search on her her site, but coachglitter.com. She has a 10% off code and a bunch of information about great lighting. She's a great person to follow when it comes to your look and all of that kind of stuff in lighting. She's done professional video and staging and all of that stuff and makeup for years and years and years, like 20 years, I think. Did you buy that light just for Periscope? No, I was doing videos before Periscope. I've only been on Periscope for a couple of weeks. So I was doing videos and was using it for that, but I flip it on for Periscope because it just works. All right, so find your light. And then, hey Niels, and then the next thing you want to do is to set your camera up at eye level. So a lot of times people will put, I'll show you the difference. Thank you, coachglitter.com/ring light if you're interested in that light. Okay, so this is not such a horrible angle, but a lot of times people will put, this might be better without my ceiling corner. A lot of times people will put their camera or their phone, set it up like way down here because they're just at the table, you know, and they set it on the table, and that's cool. But I like to prop some stuff underneath it so that we get up a little bit higher because it's just a better angle for your face. When you're looking down, guess what your skin does? It gets a hold, gravity gets a hold of it, right? See, now I'm gonna have to mess with this tripod again because I played with it, and there we go. So get your camera up a little more, get it at eye level, and it just looks like you care a little bit more. I've seen some people kind of slouched back with their camera really low, and it just looks like you're hanging out, which is fine. And if that's part of your brand, if that's part of who you are, and you just want a really more chill, relaxed feeling like you're just hanging out together, then maybe that works for you, and maybe that's fine. But I like it at eye level, and I think it's just a better angle for your face. All right, look directly into the camera lens. We talked about that one. And so you get your stuff all set up, and ideally, again, you have a system so that everything is set up. You know exactly where it's supposed to be. You know exactly what needs to be plugged in, and then you just go. Now, I'm using a microphone. This is the Rode Plus lavalier mic. You don't need it. You don't need it. I was using it before for videos, and it's RODE. The thing I don't like about it is that it has kind of a short cord, but it just gives better sound quality so that you can hear a little bit better when people are on. Thanks, Niels, for the shares and for inviting other people to join us. If they missed the beginning, sorry. Actually, this is a way better time to jump in. Hashtag hot mess. Okay, so then you're going to open up Periscope. I told you we're gonna do this step by step, so I hope you're taking notes. You got your system all set up, and you know how you're gonna go. Set up. I haven't been commenting because I was eating and doing dishes. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you're gonna open up Periscope, step number 1, and then you hit the little broadcast button down at the bottom. So there are 4 little buttons. I'm sure you found it by now, and it's gonna show. Whatever is right in front of you, whatever you're seeing, and it's going to ask you what you're seeing, and that's where you plug in your title. Your title is like, hello, Pearl Girl. And, okay, I'm missing some. Sorry, Jeremy, the Jeremy Jones. Welcome. Okay, we're going step by step through what to do on your first scope, if this is your first time, but we've also given some other tips. So, for people who might be more advanced. Okay, your title. Let's talk about titles. Your title, I want you to think of your title like a pretty face in the bar. It helps you, it attracts people, right? And it helps them see that this is something that I want to know more about. But when they click on the title, if it's not related to, if the content is not related to the title, or if the content is drunk, then you're probably not going to stay around for a lot longer. And, all right, well, you can catch the replay. We'll see you later. So So think of it as that thing that just first attracts people to your scope. So you want it to be catchy, but it also really needs to be relevant. Because if you say that you're going to give people tips on something, and then you really just run off on a spiel about some other soapbox you're on, then it's not really relevant content. You got to make sure that there's alignment and that there's a match. So those of you who are doing email marketing, you can think of it the same way with your email subject lines. And so you can test them out though and see what works and what gets people on your scopes. Just like writing a blog title. Yeah, exactly. So think about what is going to get people interested enough to click. You can also use hashtags in your title, because right now we're not able to search on Periscope, but hopefully I think that will be coming. But people can search on Twitter. And so if you're wanting to search Twitter, you can do a search, or like search for people who are doing scopes on a certain topic. You can search Periscope and then hashtag whatever the topic is, and people can find your information that way. So it's not a bad idea to include a hashtag in your title. Then you get your title in. I suggest that what does hashtag dope scope? Okay, so you'll see like tag tribes or dope scope or different things like that. They're kind of, or Perry Girls is another one. They're just different communities of people who are sort of scoping together. So Dope Scope comes from Shalene Johnson. Yep. And you can go to scopeisdope.com, I believe. And she has some really great information too about Periscope and what to do when you get on Periscope. So she hashtags Dope Scope, and then she also has Dope Scope judges, and I don't think they know what they're doing with that yet, but they're just talent searching. So that's, so there are communities like that too that can kind of help each other out too. All right. Next, periscopeisdope.com. Thank you. She did a whole scope on hearts last night. Yeah, I missed it because I am clearly in the wrong time zone for her late at night scopes. But I do want to watch the replay of that. Okay, so then you have your title in. I recommend not having your precise location on. I didn't know that at first, but once I did, I saw the location and I can zoom in directly on my house. I can probably follow myself around the rooms in my house if I wanted to, and that's just a little bit too creepy for me. And so if you're at a public place where you want to, do whatever, you want people to find you there, or you want to know that you were at some specific place, then maybe you want to turn your location on, but otherwise I recommend leaving that off. Okay. Then you'll hit broadcast and you're going. So choose scenery that you want people to see. One thing that I will do, so when I do my morning devotional ones, I just sort of brand it by, this is real creative. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, people. I don't have energy for a lot. So I just put my Bible right in front of the camera, and then that's what people first see when they jump onto those early morning devotional scopes. And that's it. When I do these, so I started with my face. When you opened this one, you saw my face, which is this handy dandy little trick that I also learned from Shalene. So you grab a mirror. Oh, I'm facing the wrong. I'm trying to show you, but I have to turn the camera around. Hold on. Okay, there. See? So now I have a mirror that I'm holding up, and you're seeing my reflection. So that's what you see when I start this one, at least sometimes. Okay, so that's the little trick on that. I have not perfected it by any means, but it works. So choose whatever you want people to see when they very first open it, because it's going to be pointed away from you. And then just double tap the screen when you are ready to flip the camera around so that they see your face. Okay, it took me a little while during my very first ceiling scope to figure out how to flip the camera, but we eventually got it. So maybe my face did show up in that first one. Oh, Lottie. Okay, double tap the screen. The first thing you can do is welcome your replay viewers, because it's going to take a little bit for the live viewers to jump on, but your replay viewers are going to see you from the exact second that you start. So it's a good idea just to welcome the replay viewers right away. I like to let them know that they can still give hearts, because they often don't know that, especially when we're new to Periscope. It's all pretty new. And look at these beautiful hearts that you all are giving. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for all those. They're beautiful. So I like to welcome replay viewers right away. And then, you know what? I like to just get right into the content. Some people like to, I'm interested in your opinion on this. So you've been on other scopes. Tell me what you think. Do you like when people do a lot of like welcomes and shout outs to people right away, or do you prefer that they get right into the content? So let me know what you think in the comments. I'll give you my opinion on it. The people who have a giant following, they're waiting for like 1,000 people to jump on, then I totally get that it makes sense for them to do a little bit of chit chat first and wait for people to get on and get going. But because they have 1,000 people, they're expecting 1,000 people to jump on board. That's different. I have 14 people on this right now. It doesn't take that long for 14 people to join. And exactly, as a replay viewer, it's really annoying when you have to wait through all of the welcomes just to see people jumping on. Now, if you have a huge following, I prefer short welcome and start. I hate waiting during the replays. A few shout outs at the beginning is okay, but otherwise just get to the content. Yeah, okay. I think that's kind of the general consensus, especially for those of us who are not expecting 1,000 people on our scopes. A couple of shout outs, a little bit of hello, and then get into the content. And I think it's okay to, share some things about yourself or whatever, but then just jump into it and start talking. I like to keep notes, as you can tell. And that's one of the reasons I don't like watching replays. You can't forward and you just want content. Okay, let me give you a tip on that. I think this is true. Maybe someone can verify for me. You can go to catch.me and you can connect your account to Catch. And then your replays are saved there. Now, I'm also playing around with some stuff with YouTube. For a little bit, I was trying to do YouTube Live at the same time because it automatically loads the video to YouTube, but then you don't get the comments and the hearts, and it looks a little silly. So I'm playing around with some other things, and I'll share that as soon as I know that it's working. But I'm testing and tweaking right now. But know your audience. Good point. You know your followers. Some do like to interact, and some people want shout-outs. Periscope will make it possible to fast forward an upcoming update. Score. Do you know when that's happening, Niels? Have you heard? That's a great tip. So when you go to catch.me, you can set up your account so that all of your replays are housed on catch.me. So catch with a K, KATCH.me/Amanda Bentow, and you'll find all of my replay videos. Just know it's in beta. Okay, so soon. Can I also put in my vote for going landscape soon? Catch.me. Yep, thank you. So you can fast forward through some of the replays, I believe, if you have it on, if you're watching on Catch. Anyone know that answer for sure? I might be lying. If I think I'm lying, I'll tell you. Amen on landscape. Yeah, because we can use our content in so many other ways. But you know what's really cool? Should I tell you what I'm testing, what I'm tweaking? That's another thing they're working on, landscape. Niels, you have like the inside scoop on it, huh? Okay, the other thing that I'm playing with is there are some people who are doing it, putting backgrounds around the video so that I can keep it on YouTube. So, you know how YouTube is like landscape. So there'd be a cool, you can't see, a cool background on the side over here and over here. So look that way. And then your video is right in the middle. And that's pretty stinking cool. So I'm playing around with that. And if it's working as we're recording it right now, then you'll find this on YouTube in a little while. Okay? Or maybe tomorrow if my company shows up. Following one of the developers. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, and then the last thing I want to tell you is we're going to make this a quiz. You ready for a pop quiz? What should you end your Periscope broadcast with? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller, drum roll. Yay! A call to action. Very good. A call to action. Yes, goodbye is also good. That's nice and friendly. But you want to always give people a call to action. So, or a shot of the ceiling. Or a shot. Yes, these are all fantastic ideas. Maybe not the ceiling though. So give people, now, okay, let's go through some call to action examples. So if you are building an email list, which if you are in business online, you should be building an email list. That's like priority numero uno, okay? We want to be driving people to the place where they can opt into our email list. That is really one of the things that we want to be doing. But if you don't have that yet, or in some cases, I mean, you don't want to end with the exact same thing every single time, but you can ask people to follow you, to share, to tweet you about something, to come back tomorrow for your scope on the next topic. There are all kinds of things that you can ask people to do, but you just want to ask for some sort of a follow-up on that. Is there a Peri expert on freemiums? Well, I would say my go-to is Chalene Johnson. I've been through her academies and stuff like that. And I adore her. I adore her teaching style because she breaks it down so very simply. We're getting some Chalene fans on here as well. And I've been through her Marketing Impact Academy. It's excellent. It's not open right now, but I will definitely keep you posted when it is open. My guess is after the first of the year, though. Like, I don't know when, but and I think that's something I'll be talking about I can talk about that in future scopes too. I just really want to make sure I stay in my lane of knowledge. But I've put together a whole ton of freemiums, so I can definitely give you some input on that. But Chalene is my go-to expert on it. So you love your broadcast because you don't constantly beg for hearts during them. That's another, thank you for that. IG Impact. Okay, good. Hearts, we can talk about hearts. Now, I have not seen Shalene's scope on hearts from last night, but I do know that hearts are really pretty and they're really fun, but they don't really mean a whole lot. So they mean that you agree or that you appreciate what the person is talking about and what they're saying. And I think it tells Periscope, I think it's in part of the algorithm that makes you found more easily. Again, that's me making up information in your morning. Gotta get back to me. Okay, well have fun. Have a good day at work. We'll see you later. But as Chalene always says, you can't cash your hearts in for dollars. You can't cash them in for shoes. They don't pay the bills. They're just pretty and they're fun, and that's one of the cool things that we love about hearts. So we appreciate hearts, but this isn't like I don't know. I know. Oh darn, right? I mean, you guys would be at least paying. You'd probably be paying my mortgage or something right now. Shows the content resonates with the attendees. Yeah, and I think it lets Periscope know that like this is a presenter who people find valuable, and that it's worth showing. I don't know. So anyway, that's the 2 cents on hearts. But I don't ask for hearts a lot. I will say thank you and I appreciate them because they're pretty and they're fun. But I'm not gonna. If people get like thumb cramps from their hearts, then that makes me sad. Okay, so those are my tips. That's what I got for you. So here's one of the reasons that I want to encourage you. I'm going to make this a short little spiel here. One of the reasons that I want to encourage you to be on Periscope, because number one, people can see your personality right away. And if you have a message that you want to get out into this big old noisy world, Periscope is an amazing way to be able to show your personality and your true self. You can buy hearts, 1 million hearts for $100. Okay, is that what you learned in Shalene's scope yesterday, I'm assuming? Yeah, people are buying hearts, and it's like, why? Why? Because you feel cool? Like, is that where you get your, I don't know. Okay, maybe there's a more legit reason than that, but if that's where you're pulling your value is from your number of hearts, then you should be on our devotional scopes in the mornings, 6 a.m. Central. Come on back, because we can talk about that. But that's my doggy. What was I talking about? Oh, getting on Periscope, because people can see your heart and they can see your personality, not just these hearts, but like your real heart, and they get a sense for who you are. And if you have a message to share and you genuinely want to be, I agree, there's no other social media network where that connection is so strong, because you can just see people right away and understand if it's someone who you like and trust and want to get to know. So Periscope is my social media BFF. But the other reason is that I have a system where you can take your Periscope videos or any other videos that you create and turn them into social media content that you can use across every single social media network. I don't recommend that you start with every single social media network, but you can start with a couple that you're already on, 1 or 2, starting with that. But I'll teach you the whole system. Just go to amandabentow.com/system and you can learn exactly how to do that. I'll be doing regular scopes soon. Good. So I want to encourage all of you to do your first scope if you haven't already done it, or do another scope. Just keep on doing it and keep practicing. It'll get better every time. And please tweet me when you have, especially if you've done your first scope. I'd love to go and watch it and give you a whole bunch of hearts. And if you want my feedback, ask me for it. Otherwise, I will. Otherwise, I'll just keep my mouth shut. But I would love to see it, and I'd love to know that you're not scared because you know how to get started, and you can do it. You absolutely can do it. So I have all the faith in the world that you can get out there and you can do some scopes and feel really confident in doing it. So that's all I got for you today. And I'm not sure if I'm planning on being on tomorrow. I just don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. So probably around the same time tomorrow. You guys have a good day, and I will definitely see you at 6 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. I'm going to build up my courage first. You got this. You don't need any courage. You don't need any courage. You can get on and introduce yourself just like you would at a cocktail party or with your best friend's new friend. Just who your friend, think of your best friend's new friend who says, "Hey, my name is Billy Bob. What's your name? Tell me about you. What do you do?" Just get on and answer that question. That's it. And then get off. And it'll be cool. And then tag me on it. Let me know you did it. Okay. See you guys. Have a good day.